Hello there and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, hi, my name is Nesli and I'm a pattern maker. Today we are making a super cute little sensory toy, and this one is such a fun and satisfying project to sew in every sense of the word. It's also perfect for using up your fabric scraps, which we love. You get to clear out that growing pile and make a sweet little gift for the little ones around you, so it's a win-win. And if you're wondering what sensory means, it basically refers to anything that stimulates the senses. In this case, we are adding a crinkly layer inside, so it makes that fun sound and has a really nice texture when babies touch and play with it. That kind of feedback is super engaging for them and keeps them curious and busy. And that's what makes this project so special. You are not just making something cute, you are making something interactive and actually fun to play with. So let's get into it and start sewing. And have I mentioned this pattern comes with two different ear options?
Before we get into it, a quick note. You can find the full list of materials in the sewing instructions manual. But just so you know, besides your fabric and wadding, you'll also need some embroidery thread and something that makes that really satisfying crinkly noise, like a plastic bag. That plastic layer is what gives the toy its sensory effect. So, let's start from the very beginning. First, you're gonna cut all your fabric pieces according to the pattern. Just take your time and make sure you're following the grain line. And please, don't skip transferring the notches. Next, do the same with your wadding pieces. I recommend using a thin wadding so it doesn't get bulky. Now for the fun part, the crinkly sound. This is what makes it a sensory toy. You can literally use anything that makes that crunchy noise, like a plastic bag, snack packaging, whatever you have at home. No need to overthink it. Cut your plastic sheet the same way as your pattern pieces. Again, in the sewing instructions manual, you'll find how many pieces to cut from each fabric or material. And quick tip, if your fabric is a bit thin and you're using something like printed packaging, you might want to fuse some interfacing to your fabric first, just so the text or graphics don't show through. I learned that the hard way. Alright, now we're moving on to the ears. Pick whichever ear style you like. Bunny or bear, both included in the pattern. The steps are exactly the same, so just go with your favorite. Take one of your ear pieces and place it with the wrong side facing up. Then layer your wadding on top, nice and aligned, and on top of that, place your plastic piece. Pin everything together so it doesn't move around, because it will try to escape. Now sew a basting stitch all the way around. Stay close to the edge, about 2 mm, and keep it within your 5 mm seam allowance. After sewing, flip it so the right side is facing up. Then take your second earpiece and place it on top, right sides together. Line up the edges properly and place a pin so it doesn't move. And finally, sew along the curved edge with your 5 mm seam allowance. Before turning the piece right side out, you can trim the edges slightly with scissors. Just be careful not to get too close to the seam line, so the edges look smoother once turned. Okay, once you've sewn your ear pieces, go ahead and turn them right side out. This part can be a bit frustrating because the opening is quite small, but with a little patience it will turn through, I promise. And then give them a nice top stitch along that curved edge, about 2 mm in from the edge. This just helps everything sit cleaner and hold its shape a bit better. Repeat the same steps for the remaining 2 ear pieces, using the wadding and plastic sheet, and you'll have 2 finished ears. Now let's move on to the head. Take one of your head pieces and place it with the wrong side facing up. Then layer your wadding on top, making sure everything is nicely aligned. And just like before, add your crinkly plastic layer on top and secure everything with a couple of pins so nothing shifts around. Now we're going to do a basting stitch all the way around again, staying within the 5mm seam allowance. This just keeps all the layers together and makes the next steps way easier. Next comes the fun part, the face. Take your paper pattern piece for the head and cut out the nose area. Then, using something sharp, poke tiny holes along the eye and mouth lines. What we're doing here is basically creating a guide so we can transfer the face onto the fabric. Place that paper on top of your fabric, right side up, and transfer the markings. You can use a heat erasable pen or just trace through the holes. And finally, grab your embroidery thread and stitch along those lines to bring the face to life. This is honestly my favorite part, because it suddenly starts looking like an actual little character. You can use any embroidery technique you like to create the face. I used a backstitch for mine, but there are many great tutorials out there if you'd like to explore different options. Also, quick note, the face on the pattern is just a suggestion, so feel free to play around and give it your own expression. And that's it! Your face is done. Now, let's place the ears. Take your headpiece and lay it right side up. At the top, you'll see 2 little notches on each side. That's exactly where the ears go. Place one ear between one pair of notches, raw edge aligned with the head edge, and then pin it in place. Do the same on the other side with the second ear. Make sure everything is nicely aligned and secure. Then go ahead and do a quick basting stitch to hold the ears in place. Now we're going to close the head. With the piece right side up and the ears gathered toward the center of the head so they don't get caught in the seam while sewing, place the other headpiece on top with right sides together and align the edges neatly. Pin in a couple of places. Then sew all around with your 5mm seam allowance. Once that's done, turn it right side out. And this is the moment where it starts looking so cute. Turning the head is much easier than the ears thanks to the wider opening. Give it a quick top stitch along that curved edge, staying close to the edge, about 2 mm to finish it off nicely. Now let's move on to the body. Take one of your body pieces and place it wrong side up. Then layer your wadding on top, just like we did before, aligning everything neatly. Just like before, place your plastic layer on top of everything and secure all of them with pins so it doesn't move. Then go ahead and do a basting stitch all the way around to hold all the layers together. Now place the body piece in front of you, right side facing up. At the top, you'll see 3 notches. That's where the head is going to be attached. Flip the head piece so the face side is against the right side of the body. Match the center notch on the head with the center notch on the body. Then place the raw edge by aligning it between the 2 side notches. Pin it in place, making sure everything lines up nicely, and secure it with a basting stitch. Well, I thought I filmed this basting stitch step, but apparently I didn't. But you get the idea. The head is now attached to the body. Next, take your second body piece and place it on top, right sides facing together, and align all the edges. Pin it in place again. After pinning, leave the section between the 2 notches on the side of the body unsewn. We'll use that opening to turn everything right side out. Sew all around the rest with a 5 mm seam allowance. Before turning the piece right side out, I make small clips into the seam allowance along the curved areas and trim the seam allowance slightly on the outer corners to help everything sit nicely. Once that's done, turn the whole piece right side out. Use your fingers to gently wiggle out all the little curves and corners, so the details come out nicely. Now you can see your little bear fully come together. Next, we're going to close that opening. Fold the raw edges inward along the seam allowance. The very ends of the opening, where the stitching starts on each side, act as a guide for where to fold. As I fold one side, I place a couple of pins to hold it in place. Then fold the other side in by the same amount, align the edges, and pin both layers together. I pinned all around the toy, catching all layers so nothing shifts while sewing, and positioned everything so the seam line sits right at the edge. Starting from the opening, top stitch all the way around the body, about 2 mm from the edge. This will close the opening and give everything a nice clean finish. This part might test your patience a bit. There are tight curves in a very small area, so you'll need to pivot the piece with almost every stitch while still trying to keep your seam neat. Just take it slow, and it'll come together beautifully in the end. If you don't feel like dealing with it, I totally get it. You can skip this step. If you do, I'd recommend closing the opening with a leather stitch instead. But I do think it's worth it, since it holds all the layers together and gives the whole piece a much cleaner finish. And that's it! You're done! Give it a little squeeze and hear that crinkly sound? That's the magic! Babies are obsessed with it, I'm telling you! My little sister had a toy like this when she was a baby, and it was one of her absolute favorites. So this project is kind of inspired by her. Thank you, sis! I genuinely love this kind of project because it's one of those rare things that's both adorable and actually engaging for little hands. Like cute and functional. We love that. If you'd like to make your own, the pattern is available on my Etsy shop. You can find the link in the description. If you try it, I'd love to see your version. You can tag me or share it with me anytime. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe if you want to see more sewing projects like this. I've got lots more coming. See you in the next one.